To call to order open session at 7:01 p.m. Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to ask Ms. Pierce to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Put your hand over your heart. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call will reflect that all board members except Mr. Duran are present, and the superintendent and all cabinet except Ms. Fisher and Mr. Aquino are present. Approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of June 18th, 2024?
So moved, Alvarez.
Is there a second?
Second, Pierce.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. Board meeting addenda, Dr. May Volmar.
Yes, the board is recommended to approve the agenda as presented, but I do want to make a note to the board and especially to the public for items 16.1 and 17.3 regarding the public hearing and the adoption of the statutory level 1 developer fees that we have hard copies of, an updated page, which is page 10 of the fee justification report, and it's available in the lobby. There was a minor typo, so hence the correction. It was corrected on table 9 on page 10 of the report with a footnote clarifying the correction, and no other changes were made to the report and no changes were made to the calculations or conclusions.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda of July 16th, 2024 board meeting with the clarifications to items 16.1 and 17.3?
So moved, Porras.
Is there a
Second, Pierce.
Any discussion? Hearing none, calls for the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. Community and staff student recognition, Dr. May Volmar.
We do not have any this evening, although we're always very proud of our staff and our students.
Introduction of new or recently promoted employees, we have none. Board and superintendent comments, Ms. Porras? Mr. Alvarez? Ms. Pierce?
None.
Good job. Dr. Watson, I have none. Dr. May Volmar?
None, with the exception of a quick congratulations to everyone that worked summer school and our graduates that will walk the stage on Thursday.
I'd like to give everyone the opportunity to leave, but I think all of you have to stay. Public comment on open session items, communications from the floor in accordance with bylaws of the board, number 9323. Time is reserved for oral communication by members of the Board of Education or by citizens. Citizens wishing to be heard on agenda items, regular or special meeting, and or non-agenda items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board, regular meetings only, shall have a 3-minute limit. A total of 20 minutes will be reserved for the public comment on each item. The board president, with concurrence of the board, may extend this time if deemed appropriate due to the number of citizens who wish to speak on an item. In accordance with the law, the board cannot take action on any matter not appearing on the agenda, as indicated in bylaws of the board, number 9232.2. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda, regular or special meeting, or non-agenda item, regular meeting. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. Please be advised that there is a possibility that some items discussed during public comment will not be developmentally appropriate for minors. We ask that parents use their discretion when choosing to remain in the boardroom during public comment. If you choose to leave the room, you may wait in the overflow location at the end of the hallway, and you will be notified when public comments have concluded. We have no online public comments, and we have no public comments. Information, number 1, Indio High School football team participated in the training and team building camp in Carlsbad, California from June 30th to July 5th, 2024. 2, Palm Desert High School dance students' participation in the Jazz Festival in Tucson, Arizona from September 27th to 29th, 2024. 3, the quarterly report summary of Williams Uniform Complaints, April to June 2024. And 4, the disposal of surplus property report per resolution number 02/2023-2024. Staff conference items, we have none. Public hearing number 01/2024-2025 for the justification report and the increase to statutory level developer fees. Opening public comments at 7:06 p.m. Is there anyone wishing to comment on this item?
Good evening, Board President, members of the Board, Superintendent and Cabinet. Patrick Cisneros, Director of Facilities. I just wanted to report out that the district received a comment letter today from Desert Valleys Builders Association as it relates to the fee justification report. And for the purpose of public hearing, the written comments were submitted to me, and they're as follows, and then I'll provide a response to each of the comments. There was 2 comments. Comment number 1, a comment was provided to the district relating to the existing school capacity and the use of deficiencies or negative capacity at the elementary level, and its use in the calculation for charging fees for new construction. In our response and review of the comment, the calculation in the published report does not include the elementary deficiencies and is correct as published. The district's legal counsel will be sending a formal response to the DVBA, or the Desert Valleys Builders Association, clarifying this information following board action later tonight. So they'll be sending something back to them in response, just to close that comment. Comment number 2, a comment was made related to table 9 on page 10 of the fee justification report, and that comment indicated the total amount listed for the estimated facilities cost for high schools was inaccurate. DVBA also acknowledged the correct amount was indicated in a subsequent section of the report. And our response, again, was table 9 of the report included a typo. However, the following pages in the report have the corrected total amount for the high schools. And this was an inconsequential typo that did not affect any other calculations in the report. With that being said, that was the only comment letter that we received on this item. Thank you.
Closing public comments at 7:08 p.m. Okay. 17, general functions, business services. We're going to take this one a little bit out of order. So there are 9 items in general functions, business services, with 17.1, 17.2, and 17.3 being resolution items and requiring roll call votes. Is there a motion to take items 17.4 to 17.9 as a group or individually?
So moved, Porras.
Is there a second?
Pierce.
Any discussion? Hearing none, calls for the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. Is there a motion for item 17.1, sorry.
So moved, Alvarez.
Second, Pierce.
Roll call vote, Ms. Porras?
Aye.
Mr. Alvarez?
Aye.
Ms. Pierce?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Motion carries 4-0. For item 17.3, Dr. May Vollmer?
Yes, in regards to what's already been mentioned earlier this evening, the board is recommended to adopt resolution number 3/2024-2025, approving and adopting fee justification reports for new residential and commercial industrial development and authorizing the increase in statutory level 1 developer fees. So please note, as you vote on this, that table 9 on page 10 of the fee justification report has been updated to correct the total cost for needed high school facilities from $289,155,698 to $286,155,698. This was an inconsequential typo that did not affect any other calculations in the report. Therefore, no other updates were made to the report, with the calculations and conclusions remaining the same. Despite this minor error, the district is still justified in collecting the maximum authorized statutory fees.
Is there a motion for item 17.3?
So moved, Porras.
Is there a second?
Second, Pierce.
Roll call vote, Ms. Porras?
Aye.
Mr. Alvarez?
Aye.
Ms. Pierce? And I'm an aye. Motion carries 4-0. Motion approved to adopt resolution number 03/2024-2025, approving fee justification report for the new residential and commercial industrial development and authorizing increase in statutory level 1 developer fees with updates. For the following agenda item, the Board of Education will be acting as a legislative body for each of the Desert Sands Unified School District's community facilities districts. The agenda item provides for the individual CFD to authorize the levy of special taxes within such CFD for the fiscal year 2024 to 2025. Agenda item number 17.2, the Board of Education will be acting as the legislative body of CFD. Numbers 2008-1, 2013-1, 2018-1, 2021-1, and 2022-1 for this agenda item only. Resolution number 02/2024 to 2025 as presented. Resolution of the Board of Education of the Desert Sands Unified School District acting as the legislative body of community facilities number 2008-1, 2013-1, 2018-1, 2021-1, and 2022-1 of the Desert Sands Unified School District, authorizing the levy of special taxes and taking related actions for fiscal year 2024 to 2025. Is there a motion to approve this resolution, item 17.2?
I move to approve the resolution as presented.
Is there a second?
Second, Alvarez.
Thank you. Roll call vote, Ms. Porras?
Aye.
Mr. Alvarez? Ms. Pierce?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Motion carries 4-0. These matters related to the CFD numbers 2008-1, 2013-1, 2018-1, 2021-1, and 2022-1 are complete for this evening. The board will no longer be acting as the legislative body of the district's community facilities districts for the remaining items on the agenda. The board will now be acting as the Board of Education of the Desert Sands Unified School District. Thank you. 18, General Functions Educational Services. There are 23 items for General Functions Educational Services. Is there a motion to take these as a group or individually?
So moved, Porras.
Is there a second?
Second, Alvarez.
Any discussion? Hearing none, calls for the question. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. 19, General Functions Personnel Services. There are 6 items for General Functions Personnel Services. Is there a motion to take these as a group or individually?
As a group, Porras.
Is there a second?
Alvarez.
Any
Second.
discussion? Hearing none, calls for the question. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. General Function Student Support Services. There are 2 items in General Function Student Support Services. Is there a motion to take these as a group or individually?
Move to take them as a group.
Is there a
Pierce.
second?
Second, Porras.
Any discussion? Hearing none, calls for the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. General Functions Superintendent. There are 2 items in General Functions Superintendent, with 21.1 being a resolution and requiring a roll call vote. Is there a motion for item 21.2?
So moved, Porras.
Is there a second?
Second, go ahead.
Pierce.
Any discussion? Hearing none, calls for the question. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. Is there a motion for item 21.1?
So moved, Porras.
Is there a second?
Second, Alvarez.
Roll call vote, Ms. Porras?
Aye.
Mr. Alvarez?
Aye.
Ms. Pierce? And I'm an aye. Motion carries 4-0. Consent item Student Matters, Dr. May Volmar.
Yes, tonight in closed session, the board took action to approve the following student matters. Item 22.1, expulsion case number 23/24-75, on a motion made by Trustee Porras, seconded by Trustee Alvarez. The motion carried 4-0 with the board accepting the recommendation from the hearing panel. Expulsion case number 23/24-79, on a motion made by Trustee Porras, seconded by Trustee Alvarez, was carried 4-0 with the board accepting the recommendation of the hearing panel.
Consent items Business Services. There are 8 items in consent item Business Services. Is there a motion to take these as a group or individually?
Motion to take them as a group.
Is there
Pierce.
a second?
Second, Porras.
Any discussion? Hearing none, calls for the question. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. Consent items Educational Services. There are 29 items in consent items Educational Services. Is there a motion to take these as a group or individually?
Take them as a group, Porras.
Is there a second?
Second, Alvarez.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Just, there's a lot of independent contractor agreements that are supporting our after-school programs. Just, want to make it clear that our after-school programs are to support our families. So when school sites are out there making their decisions, the intent of the program is to support the families and their needs. It's not to say, we mandate you have to be here every day. It's there to support the students' needs and the families' needs. Just wanted to make that comment.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. Consent items, personnel services, there are none. Consent items, student support services. There are 9 items in consent items, student support services. Is there a motion to take these as a group or individually?
I move to take them as a group, Porras.
A second?
Second, Alvarez.
Any discussion? Hearing none, calls for the question. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. Consent items, superintendent. There are 2 items in consent items, superintendent. Is there a motion to take these as a group or individually?
So moved, Porras.
As a group?
Yes, as a group.
Is there a second?
Second, Alvarez.
Any discussion? Hearing none, calls for the question. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. Personnel action certificated. Dr. Hyde.
Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to announce that we actually have 3 retirements in our certificated side. And I'll start with Mercedes Hicks, who's retiring after 30 years of service from Palm Desert High School. Donna, oh gosh, I hope I don't mess, Mashusek, who's also from Palm Desert High School, and she's retiring after 21 years of service. And then Jacqueline, I don't know if the P is silent, Patak, at La Quinta High School, who's retiring after 28 years of service. Combined, these folks have contributed 79 years of service to the students and families of Desert Sands, so kudos to them all.
Is there a motion?
So moved, Porras.
Is there a second?
Second, Pierce.
Any discussion?
I just have to say, congratulations for making it to the finish line, and enjoy your retirement.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. Personnel actions classified. Dr. Hyde. Nothing. All right. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second, Alvarez.
Any discussion? Hearing none, calls for the question. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0. Call out of closed session items. Dr. May Wilmer.
Yes. My microphone was being weird right there. Okay, item 3.2 in closed session, the board took action in closed session on a request for subpoenas and gave direction to staff. On item 3.4, in closed session, the board approved the appointment of the following individuals: certificated management recommendations, Sheila Potroff, assistant principal at Desert Ridge Academy; James Atkins, assistant principal, Indio Middle School; Francisco Uribe, assistant principal, La Quinta High School; Julie Howard, principal, Johnson Elementary; Kristen Harper, principal, Truman Elementary; Richard Romero, principal, Van Buren Elementary; Lisa Longorio, Dr. Lisa Longorio, principal, Washington Charter; and classified management recommendations: Maria Wise, accounting supervisor; Sonia Estradalon, mental health therapist; Jose Rodriguez, mental health therapist; Tamara Watkins, public information officer; and Kevin Chrysler, transportation operations supervisor. All of these passed on a motion made by Trustee Porras, seconded by Trustee Pierce, and were all unanimous 4-0.
Suggestions for future agenda items that receive at least 3 votes. Ms. Porras?
I have none.
Mr. Alvarez? Ms. Pierce? And I have done. Announcements. The next regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Education will be August 13, 2024 in the District Education Boardroom, 47950 Dune Palms Road, La Quinta, California. We do need to reconvene to close session, so we will come back out to adjourn. This meeting is adjourned at 7:25 PM.